So thank you again for joining us for this interview. Like I said before, Brooklyn will be joining us in a bit. So we have a couple questions lined up for you, but feel free to ask us any questions at any time if you have.
Okay, sounds good.
Perfect. So first we want to congratulate you on winning the Horizon Scholarship. Very well deserved. As a current graduate student in the Justice and Equity program, could you talk about your interests and goals within your current research?
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. Current goals within my research, I guess to raise awareness and have, like these discussions on race and like athletes in sport and the mistreatment that, like we as Black athletes experience. And it's often not talked about in Canadian research. It's mostly thought of in the States. So I think it's super under researched, and I just wanted to, I guess, capture those experiences and also my own in like an academic sense or
Yeah.
setting.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes sense. Thank you for sharing. And I think that's really important. I like that you brought up the fact that it's not talked about a lot here in Canada, or there's not a lot of research in Canada compared to in the States. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's not there and that these social injustices aren't happening just because they're not researched. So I think it's definitely really important the work you're doing to research that and bring some of that to light so we can collectively do something about it and improve that.
Yeah, thank you.
So in the Brock article written about yourself that we were reading through, you talk a lot about your passion about sports, but also that passion for race and how social institutions work against people of color. So SHEMA, our club, we believe that sport can work to unite people from all walks of life, but also understands how often social institutions provide unfair opportunities for equity-seeking groups, such as women or people of color.
Mhm.
Could you explain on how you believe that we can break down these barriers and work through that through sport?
Yeah, I think a good start would be some good representation in the roles of like higher authority and things like that. And like also just simply like like asking what is needed from that social group. Like I think a lot of times no one really asks, it's kind of just like assumed, or it's like what someone else thinks you might need, which doesn't really make sense because it's not your like issue that you're dealing with, if that makes sense.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's really important as well. That actually brings me to think about a previous interview we had with Fitria Mohammed. I don't know if you know her. She's also a graduate student at Brock.
No.
Um, so she's a graduate student at Brock, doing her master's of sport management, I believe. And we had a conversation with her, and she actually got the opportunity to work with Nike to collaborate and create a hijabi playbook. And basically, it was her as a Muslim woman helping to share her experiences in sport on how, almost like a guide for people that don't know how to accommodate for Muslim women in sport. So I absolutely can see how important it is to learn and seek information from that equity seeking group
Mm.
um, as a foundation to continuously be learning. Because obviously we don't know everything about everyone, and it's so important to learn and be accommodating and to just reach out looking for that extra education and knowledge.
Mhm.
So
I agree.
I think that's great advice. Absolutely. And also, I like that you touched upon seeing those people in leadership positions. In my case, seeing women in sport leadership positions.
Mm.
I'm in sport management. I would like to, have a career in the sport industry somewhere. So seeing women of color, seeing people of color, Indigenous people, um, not only is it good for other people to see, but I find also eliminating groupthink, having different opinions, different voices. I think overall, it's just going to make everything so much better.
I
Um,
100% agree. Yeah.
yeah. So we can hop on to the next question here. So we see that you're striving and hoping to make a difference in how specifically Black athletes are treated at Canadian universities. If you're comfortable doing so, do you mind elaborating a little bit on your personal experiences as an athlete in university and how you may have experienced inequality?
Um, yeah, let me think. I guess I can start off by like the treatment and like the way that we're spoken to. Yeah, it's different. Like I found that the players of color had a lot less opportunities and less room for error, I guess if that makes sense. And um sorry, what was the second part of your question? Oh, like how I've experienced like inequality and things like that. Yeah.
Hmm.
So it's not just like on the field, like as a player. Like there's also like instances that happen like off the field, like for instance at parties and things like that. If something goes down, like there has been an instance where like someone stole something at a party, and like I was the only black male there. Like everyone just looked at me saying that I stole it, but like I've never stolen nothing in my life. So it's just things like that. It's just like the whole like culture is just so deeply like ingrained in our system, in our minds. And I think it's like it's important to have these like topics and discussions to work through. Like even if they're uncomfortable, it's still very important. Um, yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, definitely. Thank you for sharing. Um, it's hard to hear that. I hate hearing that. So I feel for you, and it's just not something that anyone should have to go through or feel. And so I appreciate that you
Mhm.
are able to speak about that to educate, and so that we can continue to start to make things better. And I like that you touched upon that. Yes, often they are uncomfortable conversations, but something I say all the time, we need to get comfortable being uncomfortable
Right.
because that's the only way that you can open your horizons and expand your point of view to try and understand and, think about others,
Mhm.
that kind of thing as well. So
Yeah,
I appreciate you
just-
mentioning.
yeah, no problem.
Yeah. Um, so the next question I have here, so you work with the Brock Human Rights and Equity Office as a peer-to-peer mentor, help facilitate workshops and all that kind of stuff with them. Could
Mhm.
you discuss your time with this program and perhaps any upcoming news that students should look into and learn from?
Oh, yeah. So we do like a bunch of workshops like based on like restorative justice, masculinity, trauma. Um, y- like a lot of it is centered around sexual violence and just like supporting the victim is basically the main goal of what we're doing, like in that sense. And
Hmm.
let me actually check our events calendar. Just give me a moment to pull that up.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I definitely think it's great to, attend some of these events just to learn, how we can educate ourselves, what are ways that we can help, and that kind of stuff. So I
Yeah,
think it's great that you have this experience with them, and it's always great to learn.
yeah, it's definitely been so helpful. And since it's like basically April, so most of our events have already happened throughout
Hmm.
the year, but we do have a couple more coming up. My computer's just being really slow, so just give me a minute.
No worries. And I guess we'd be able to find these like on Experience BU if we wanted to
Yes,
look into that.
yes, they're all on Experience BU.
Perfect.
Okay, so this is always slow when I need it to be fast.
Oh, I totally understand that. I
Okay,
think it was last month I attended one of the Brock HRE events. I don't know if you attended. It was called From Microaggressions to micro affirmations. And it was definitely really interesting. There was a couple speakers and a lot of attendees. So it was really interesting. And, it made me feel good to know that, people are interested in learning about these things.
Yeah, so in terms of what we have coming up, we have a consent and disclosure like workshop that I'm doing. That's going to be tomorrow. And I
Okay.
think I think we also have a restorative justice one coming up, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, we do have a couple of workshops coming up. So yeah, we do like activities, some group discussions, lots of discussion. That's like the whole like goal behind it, to like talk about it and like raise awareness and just like learn as a group. And yeah, we have those workshops coming up, and then we also have some drop-in sessions. So like if you've ever experienced sexual violence, or like if you know someone who has, and if you're not sure what to do, or if you just want to chat, like someone to talk to, yeah, we do that throughout the week. So that could be like amazing if we could have more students there to talk to, because it's pretty boring to talk on your own if no one shows up. So yeah, like we welcome everyone to come join. Like I know it's different, like just being online and everything, but we we are there. We do want to help. So if anyone's able to, or like if anyone wants to come and talk, we're there.
Well, that's great to hear. I know that's great for myself to hear, and whoever else might be watching this. Even I appreciate that you say just to come out and chat. I especially understand during this time where this online environment, people get lonely. It's you're not really seeing people, and I think even just coming out to chat, say hi, start up a little conversation. I appreciate that, and I think those are just very valuable. Takes your mind off of all the school stress we got going on. So thank you for sharing that, and I'll definitely be looking into those.
Great.
Um, so a couple more questions here. So we see how genuine and passionate you are with your research, and as a whole, not necessarily just with school right now, but we'd love to know what are some of your next steps after this. So that could be in your research or just goals in your personal life, or what are you kind of looking into the future for?
So I should have my defense coming up at the end of the month, so that's exciting.
Yeah.
um, I finished my last course in a couple of weeks, so that's exciting too. And what's next after April? Yeah, just keep like working on my paper, doing some more research on that, and just thinking about like how I can do the best work, because like I know it's important, and I know that while I hope that it's very like impactful to like a lot of different students and faculty members and things like that. So just wanting to make sure that it's my best work, it's well thought of, and yeah, I just want to do a good job. So that's what I'm going to be doing for the next few months. And after that, I'm hoping to find a job somewhere, like possibly even like with HRE still, or in Brock, or just like a completely different field in general. Like I think it would be really cool to like have a job that has a focus on like race and sport. I'm not sure exactly what that job would be, but I have seen some jobs around it. So yeah, like either of those would be great.
Yeah, well, that would be really cool. I feel that those types of jobs are really important because, to have that person who's specifically focusing on, that inclusion aspect and making sure that there are not, or we're mitigating racial inequalities and all that kind of stuff. And I feel that from this conversation, I feel that would be a great fit for you.
I think so.
So yeah, so I hope you're able to find something like that. I know with this whole situation, the job market's, a little tough, but
Yeah.
But also good luck for your defense coming up. I'm sure that's going to go great, and it'll be nice to, be able to present all that hard work that you've been doing. So I hope that goes well for you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
As well, we always like to mention, if our club SHEMA can help in any way, we'd love to get involved and support you along your journey.
Thank you.
Of course. And so our last question, actually, we'd just love to know what your favorite memory in sport is.
Oh, that's a good one. I've actually been thinking about it a few times lately. So probably when I played basketball when I was like maybe like 11 to 13, 14-ish. Like I would say that those were some of my most like exciting years because I played rep and like we had like a tournament like every weekend. So like it was like nonstop ball, like nonstop playing, which I love. So that was amazing. And then we've also won two championships for like our age group. So like I would say that was a great experience. And then um, also finding out that I was going to McMaster to play on the team. That was a great experience as well. And yeah, just like, and also just thinking about like the like impact that sport has had on my life, like in terms of um like friendships and networking and social skills, like and and teamwork and just like learning how to like manage a bunch of different things at once. And there was one more thing I wanted to say, but I forgot. Um, yeah, it's gone. I'm sorry, but
No worries.
yeah, like just learning like a bunch of social skills and like just being a part of a team, like a unit that's working towards a certain goal. And I think sport is so like impactful, like beyond the sport itself.
Absolutely. I agree with like everything you said there. And I can also relate to a lot of that too. We just love asking that question because, sport has a lot of great memories for people. And I appreciate that you spoke about, not only is it fun, but you're developing so many skills,
Mhm.
meeting lots of people, making great friendships. And, as I said before, we truly believe sport can unite. And it's really incredible what it can do, and the memories that we have connected to it, and the way we can take that into our future. So, oh, sorry, just got cut off there. But yeah, so that was the last question we had for you. Brooklyn apologizes that her exam went so long. Of course, not her fault.
That's okay.
So yeah, apologies there. But I really appreciate this conversation we had. It was definitely valuable to me, and it was great chatting with you and getting to know you. So thank you so much for taking your time. Unless you have any questions for me, that's all I have for you today.
No problem. Thanks for having me. I think it's important, like as well, for me just to like think through these thoughts that I have, and I think your questions did a great job of doing that. So it was also helpful for me as well. So thank you.
Thank you. That makes me so happy to hear. I can't take
Okay.
all the credit. Brooklyn helped me make the questions too. But thank you. That's really great to hear. Yeah, we definitely find that, these conversations are so helpful for everyone. And, even people watching this just can learn, as long as, even if they take away one thing from these
Exactly.
conversations, I feel that it makes the world of a difference.
Mhm. Mhm. So,
Uh,
do you guys have any events or anything that are happening soon? Like other than
um, So we kind of just finished our last main event. So what we had going on in the month of March was something we called Table Talk. And so every Sunday, so the 4 Sundays in March, we had a different sport industry professional to come in, and people can sign up for a small type networking event. So we didn't want to make it, huge where it's just someone speaking, we had a couple slots for each time frame, and it was really great because we actually got to engage in conversations, and the students got to engage in conversations and network. And so that was kind of our last main event of the year. We have biweekly newsletters that we send out to students to kind of keep up with what's going on with our club. And we also love to include a section about some good news for what's going on in sport, whether that be for women in sport or, social equity seeking groups in sport. So we are very focused about the sport management student group. That's kind of where our club is focused towards. But I mean, this was only our starting year. I think going in the future, we're really looking to collaborate with other groups as well, such as Brock HRE, and a lot of those other groups too, to kind of bring more to light these kinds of things that we were talking about today. So unfortunately, I don't have any events coming up soon. It is the end, and we know a lot of people are busy with exams, and it's not really the right time to do that. But we're definitely looking into planning some really interesting stuff for next year, some educational stuff. We I don't know if you've heard about it, but in January, we partnered with CCDI, the Canadian Centre for Diversity and Inclusion, to offer 2 courses for students to sign up. And so that was really great, 2 online courses. So one was the Fundamentals of Diversity and Inclusion, and the other was Unconscious Bias. And it was really great to go through those courses and learn about that. Got a certificate at the end, so that was nice too. But so we're definitely hoping to get a lot of different unique educational events going in for next year.
Oh, that sounds awesome. Well, I hope it goes well for
Thank you so
and your team. I think you guys are going to do some amazing things. So looking forward to seeing it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And again, thank you for your time, and have a great rest of your day.
Thanks so much, and same to you.